Hello all. In this video I wanted to show you how to create a higher order component and what is the use of a higher order component in React. Well, this is the definition of higher order component from React.js or the website, but leaving all these things aside, higher order component is a component which renders another component. That is, higher order component renders the wrapped component plus it adds some other business logic, some other features on top of the wrapped component. So in this video, let's create a higher order component and see how it works. I have a test project set up here already. So let's start creating a higher order component. Import React DOM as well. So first create underlying component or the wrapped component. I want to create some underlying component. Let me create a RAV4. RAV4 is the model of a car from Toyota, as many of you know. So this is a basic React component. It's a stateless function component. Now let me render this to the screen to start with. Rendering any React component, I can directly render it just like any other HTML tag. That is the main purpose of React, as many of you know. Yep, I have rendered this component to the screen, as you can see, and this is not doing anything major. It is just rendering this one to the corresponding element ID which I have defined in my index.html file. Well, I really don't like the idea of hard coding the model here, so let's pass this as a props. I mean, that's the basic thing of React, right? I should be able to customize it the way I want it to be by passing it from props or state, anything. But in this case, props obviously. So I am so at this point, if I save that, obviously technically it is not breaking anything, but functionally it is broken. It is expected because I'm not passing the model, which is supposed to be passed as an attribute. So let's do that. Yep. Let's create a higher order component. Well, step one is to create a function that returns the higher order component. So without further ado, let's create the basic function. Let me call it as get SUV. So when I call this function, I would be getting the higher order component back. Let me call it as Toyota SUV. and to this function I need to pass the wrapped component, whatever I want to pass. And I don't want to name it as wrap4 obviously, because this is a wrapped component. It can be any component down the line. This returns the actual higher order component here. This is the higher order component that's being returned. So let's say I want to show kilometers traveled in higher order component. For now I'm hard coding to 10,000. The wrap component, whichever I'm passing, I'm rendering it from the higher order component. I mean, that is the main purpose of the higher order component, right? To render the wrapped component plus some extra functionality, as I have been telling. So now instead of rendering wrap4, I'm going to render the higher order component, which is Toyota SUV in this case. And let's see. Yes, we have rendered our first higher order component to the screen now. You can see I'm getting the kilometers traveled from higher order component followed by the actual information from the wrapped component. However, I can see that model info is not coming here. Let's fix that. Yes, that is because I'm not passing the props from higher order component to the wrapped component. So let's do that right now. I'm using the spread operator and passing the props, and I'm getting the props here. Well, I definitely don't want to hardcode the kilometers traveled in the higher order component, so let's pass this as a props as well. So let's put as 12,000 so that we'll know our changes have been reflected correctly. Yes, so the kilometers traveled is also being sent as a props, and those props are being sent to the wrapped component as well here. Now let's create a different wrapped component. I mean, I want to render a different wrapped component with the help of same higher order component. I mean, that's the main purpose of a higher order component, right? One higher order component can cater to n number of wrapped components. So let me name this as CX5. This is the competition vehicle to RAV4 from Mazda. And this obviously I want to use the same function, but instead of passing RAV4, I want to pass the new wrapped component to the same higher order component function. I'm going to get a different component now. It will be Mazda SUV. And now let me render I'm going to comment out the Toyota SUV, and I'm going to render the Mazda SUV. Let's say I'm putting 2018 model and the kilometers traveled is 20,000. Yes, so we can see that this new higher order component has been displayed to the screen. Obviously, it's the same higher order component with the same structure, same design, same business logic, everything. It's just the underlying component is altogether a total different wrapper component. So here we are, with the help of same higher order component, we have created two different components with the help of two different underlying wrapper components, and we have displayed both of them to the screen. So hope this helps. Thank you, folks.